Hello, this is Dale Chafee. This is recorded for my lab in Biology 250. This is the lab in regards to the sheep brain, and I'm going to go over the dissection of that and the anatomy of that. First, let me show you the area I'm going to be working in today. In my workspace, I just have the provided list, my dissected sheep brain, and the tools that I used, and that's all that I have here. I'm just in the laundry room area. And I'm going to have to pause it here as I don't have an assistant to help with my camera work, so please bear with me. All right, hopefully this is a pretty good angle. We'll start with the outside here on the meninges. The dura mater is the outside protective sheet there. The arachnoid is actually the same kind of protective layer. It's that shiny area on the outside. There's also the pia mater. That kind of covers the whole meninges area there. When you go to the cerebrum, that's right here on the side of the brain. And if you go to your sulcus or your sulci, that is more or less the valley here, the dark or the deep parts on the brain there. And the gyrus or the gyri would be your side folds, so you're kind of like a raised bump area there. Your longitudinal cerebral fissure was right down the middle there. That's where we made the cut and the incision on the brain there. And we changed that. Now we go to the brain stem. It goes all the way down the middle. Hopefully this is a good view here. All the way down here to the spinal cord. Midbrain, cerebral peduncle. Peduncle is always a weird one to say. That's your underneath middle area there. Next to the superior colloculus. And then you have your inferior colloculus as well. So hopefully I'll be able to point this out pretty well. It's kind of hard doing it by myself here. The pons is at the end right there towards the brain stem. And then if we get to the, make sure I cover that part. Medulla oblongata is right before the spinal cord. The cerebellum, which is cerebellum on the side. Your vermis is the top right above the stem. And now if we go to your lateral hemisphere, it's kind of just exactly that. Your left and your right side of the brain there. We get to the pituitary gland, the top middle area there. And then that's going to go ahead and change over to the cranial nerves there. All right, next we're going to the olfactory bulb, basically right there. And what connects those two is the olfactory nerve as well. Now if we're getting over to the optic nerve, that's right there, showing the optic nerve. The optic chiasm is basically the middle right there. And the optic tract, you're right there as well. Make sure to cover all those. All right, continuing on, we have the oculomotor here on the side. And the, see here, trochlear, visible, would be right there on the side as well. And the trigeminal and the abducens, looking right here on the side. Kind of just depends on the specimen if you get it or not. And that's going to cover everything on that portion. Now changing views here to the mid-sagittal section is what we're discussing. The corpus callosum, right there, in the top middle. The thalamus, it's right there in the middle. Hypothalamus, hypo is going to be below that. Let's see here. A lateral ventricle right there. Septum pellucidum. Looking in that area right there. And the choroid plexus right there, going to the third ventricle, that area. The cerebral aqueduct, that's kind of the end there, and that'll actually connect the third and the fourth ventricle. And then arbor vitae, the top end right there, it's the white matter. Then when we discussed the white matter and gray matter, it's kind of exactly that. White matter, definitely that lighter in color. And gray matter is that darker color there. That's going to conclude everything there. Sorry about the camera angles and everything. Trying to make it work within the time frame and just doing the camera by myself. And that would conclude this assignment. It's once again Dale Chafee, Biology 250, the dissection of the sheep brain.